Hey, what's up, y'all? Let's talk basketball today. Let's talk Kwame Brown. That's the hot story right now. The NBA playoffs are jumping off. Let's talk Kwame Brown. Let's try to keep it basketball though. Kwame Brown was drafted in 2001. For people that's old enough to remember, he was drafted by the Washington Wizards and Michael Jordan was the GM. He's been labeled all these years as like one of the biggest NBA draft busts. And I always disagree with that shit because I've seen worse. Was he great at basketball? No. He would even tell you that. Was he the worst at basketball? Not even close. He would even tell you that. Was it high expectations on the dude off rip as a 17-year-old boy, as he would always say? Yes. And another thing, the expectations were even more ridiculous for the fact that he got drafted by Michael Jordan, a demanding ass dude, a demanding ass champion. Now he told you, Kwame Brown told y'all about the trade that was proposed that didn't happen. So through all these years, you have Michael Jordan apologists who would do anything in their power to protect Michael Jordan's legacy. So throughout protecting Michael Jordan's legacy, they always shit on a Kwame Brown pick. To we always have to attribute blame to our favorite athletes and leaders for things they might have failed at in life. Michael Jordan was a failure as a GM. So to put it all on Kwame Brown is like irresponsible. And that lay at a lot of that lays at Stephen A. Smith's doorstep. I watched it firsthand. Back then, that's when I watched ESPN every day. That was before the cell phone boom and the social media boom, where we was just before we was all tapped in on social media. That's when we watched ESPN every day religiously. That's when you watch the best damn sports show on Fox. We watched a lot of all kinds of sports shows just to keep up with what was going on. But every chance analysts got to destroy Kwame Brown, they did, because his name is always was forever back then attached to Michael Jordan. And he finally put his foot down. He tired of this shit. The shit is just not fair. Now I'm a Cleveland Cavalier basketball fan. And I've seen bad basketball. A lot of it. I've seen some good years with LeBron, of course, but I've seen some bad basketball. When we drafted Anthony Bennett, number one overall, my mouth dropped to the motherfucking floor. And this was in 2013. I've seen Kwame Brown. I've seen Michael Olowokandi. I've seen Andrew Bargnani, which y'all motherfuckers never bring up when y'all talk about some of the greatest NBA busts. I've seen Darko Milicic. And then the Cavs had the nerve and the audacity to draft Anthony Bennett. Now, I watched a lot of basketball, but I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to UNLV basketball. So when they drafted that dude, I just paused for a second, like I always do. Let my thoughts gather and say, okay, can this dude play? Because I don't know much about him. So I looked at the tape. Looked good. Potentially could be good. Nice height, size. But I'm like, wait a second. Something just not sitting right with my soul. And lo and behold, when he got on that court, it showed. And we still tried to get behind this dude. And it just didn't pan out. Now, would I call this man a failure in life? No, he's not a failure in life because he was drafted number one. And I think that's pretty much what Kwame's point is. Any young black male that's drafted, not even number one, but just drafted and enters into this NBA fraternity and have resources to change their mama life, their dad's life, their kid's life, their, whoever's life. You can't call these dudes failure, and you definitely can't do it on national TV. So when you continually call these men busts, keep it basketball. But the word alone, the narrative of the word is a failure. And the way y'all put that shit on TV and ESPN, y'all orchestrated like these dudes are failures at life. And there's another something else to add to Kwame's a lot of his points. is that when y'all do talk about these men on ESPN, y'all bring up the negatives, all the negatives that they had. But he overcame this. He made it to the league. Is that a part of their story? Yes, it is. But when you paint that picture like that, and y'all elaborately paint these pictures, paint these pictures and these negative images about these young black athletes, we don't never talk about Andrew Bargnani. We never talk about DARKO Milicic. Now, granted, they played overseas, but we don't know what their background is. Well, I'm gonna speak for me. I never hear these dudes get lambasted on ESPN and all these sports shows as the poster child of NBA bust. And that's what a lot of what Kwame's point is. Now, granted, he got a lot of other shit he want to get off his chest, and I feel him. I feel him. But it started with that. Stephen A. shitted on a lot of dudes. That's why a lot of people put him in that coon sellout category, which I used to be on the fence about it. Now I'm a little more concrete about how I feel about that dude. Is he a paid, Sambo? I would lean in that direction. And I think he knows that, and I think he accepted that. Just like Jason Whitlock was. Now he's not, under the cameras as much. So now he's trying to lean a little towards this Kwame Brown thing, and that's another story. But that's another video. But that's another dude that I would like to see get roasted. I don't know if Kwame gonna go that route because I think they still share some of the same allies. They like some of the same folks, man. I think they black Republicans, black conservatives, and that's cool too. Because I'm not a political dude. I care less about Republican, Democrat, all that bullshit. I care more so about results. But I can't speak for that, man. I'm just going based off of some of the talking points and lean in that direction. But back to the basketball part of it, he wasn't the greatest player at all. Not even close. But is he a failure at life the way he's narrated to be? Not at all. So Stephen A. deserved that smoke. And I'm going to shut this down. That's all I got. I want to keep it short, but I'm behind Kwame Brown. Let's see where this goes. All right.